Hello, welcome to the weekly Aramaic. This week we are in Daniel 2, verse 12. So if you remember, the king had a dream. He asked his wise men to interpret it. They stalled. He saw through it. Then they said, nobody can do this. And now the king in verse 12 here is going to say, goodbye. However, Daniel will save the day in weeks to come. So let's go ahead and begin. So we start with Kol Kavel Dana. So this basically means all in front of this. It's a very verby, wordy way of saying for this reason or because of this. So kol, this is a kamatz katuf, which is, so normally this little t here, this little t of mine, we normally think of it as a long A. But actually in this situation, it's a short O. Who knew? The reason is because the word kol means all. I may have misspoken in previous videos in the past, thinking that this was an A, but it's not. It's so let me remind you of the Canaanite shift. So what happened was there were some A vowels, long A vowels in Proto-Semitic, ancient Semitic language that branched off into several different languages. There were some A vowels that in Hebrew became O vowels. We call that the Canaanite shift, a shift in Canaan and among the Canaanite languages, of which Hebrew is one, from a long A to an O. And I may have thought mistakenly in a previous video that that's what's going on here. But actually, this word had an O even in Proto-Semitic. And so it has retained its O in Aramaic and in Hebrew. And the reason why this can't be a long A is because it's in an unaccented closed syllable. This Makaf here says that its pronunciation, these two words go together, kol kavel. And so there's not enough breath for this to be a long vowel. And so this is a short O. And so the long O-ness of it got sucked out of it. And now we're left with a short O, K-O-L, with no long mark over the O. So anyway, it's the word for all. All in front of this, so kavel is just it's just a preposition. You'll notice that this is a katef kamatz. So it's a, we could transliterate it as an A with a short mark over it. It's a short A. It's a really short A. We probably pronounce it like a kavel anyway, but all because of this. Now, this is masculine singular. The kamatz hey might throw you off because it looks feminine singular. Who knew? But it's masculine singular. And its equivalent in Hebrew is zeh. And the zayin and the dalet, they're kind of related in the same part of the mouth, but it's a dalet in Aramaic. So all because of this. Malka. So kamatz aleph in Aramaic, as you know, is the, and melech is king. So the king. All because of this, the king, banas u kazaf, sagi, very soggy. Anyway, so the king was angry and was furious, very. This form, banas, kazaf, and you'll even notice here, mar, shava, vocal schwa under the first consonant, and then a patak, short A, under the second consonant, is a all basic form for what we call it the G stem sometimes, the Grundstamm in both Hebrew and if we use the word G, we can use it across the Semitic languages a little bit. It would be the kal stem in Hebrew, but we'll call it the pa'al stem in Aramaic. It's the basic verb that you find in the dictionary. Different from Hebrew, because in Hebrew, a near open syllable lengthens. But in Aramaic, a near open syllable reduces. So we lose air in Aramaic, whereas we gain breath in Hebrew. So banas, banas. So he was angry, and kazaf, he was furious. So this is the basic third masculine singular basic stem of these verbs, the dictionary form, as it were, vocabulary form of these words. He was angry and he was very furious that they, you're not going to tell me what I want to know. Va'amar, and the is and then why is this a katef patak? We had a katef kamatz here. Why is it a katef? Because, and not just a simple vocal schwa, because gutturals need more air, and so gutturals don't do simple vocal schwas. It opens up the sound a little bit, and we get a little short a sound there. Katef patak. So, and the king said, he said, lahovada, lakol, kakime, babel. Okay. And he said, lahovada. Okay, so the lamed is the word to, the preposition to. The hey is the causative stem. In Hebrew, well, we can call it the H stem across both languages, but it's the hafel in Aramaic. We call it the hifil in Hebrew, but the hafel is the causative stem in Aramaic. So we have, it's an infinitive construct. There are two kinds of infinitive in Hebrew and Aramaic, the absolute one that stands on its own, and then the construct one that can take prepositions. And so this is the construct, in order, or to cause to destroy. The king said, cause to destroy all of you wise men of Babylon. So the king's going to kill them all, and that would include Daniel and Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And so God's going to help Daniel and the three Hebrew children out. But anyway, so the hafel, it's causative because the H, it's from avad, which is a word in both Hebrew and Aramaic that means to destroy. Where did the aleph go? It's just a peculiarity that the aleph decided, I'm out of here. I mean, it didn't want to be destroyed, right? So to cause to destroy, to all, so there's call again, but here we have it not attached, but unattached. So it has the accent and it takes its long form with a long O, to all, kakime. So this is masculine plural construct, wise men of. Daniel's a wise man. He's a wise guy. Notice that Daniel is not in the prophetic section of the Hebrew Bible. It's in the writings section. So Daniel is technically a wise man in the Old Testament rather than a prophet. The wise men of. So masculine plural construct, wise men of Babel. So Babylon, wise men of Babylon. Okay, so the king's about ready to kill some people, but God's going to step in here in a second. So there's the Aramaic of Daniel 12 of chapter 2.